Welcome back to Serious Travel. Today I'm going to be taking you through an amazing trip that we did this summer that we actually didn't do entirely on points because the cash values from Toronto were so affordable. In total, we ended up spending $799 for two people one way to this location. You can still try to guess where this is. They were direct flights from Toronto, and this is where we ended up. If you haven't guessed it by now, it is Faial of the Azores. In this series, we'll be covering the Azore Islands, Madeira, Lisbon, Portugal, going over to Malta, and then finally ending off in London. Faial was our landing point, so let's get into some details. Faial is about 170 square kilometers, making it the fifth largest island in the Azores. There's a total of 9 islands in that island range. For population, there are about 15,000 people. Most live in the city of Horta, which we're not covering this video, but we will in a future video. Horta is known for its vibrant marinas, which is a popular stop for transatlantic yacht sailors. As you can probably tell from our videos while we're driving, we were quite astonished with how remote this island was. Its natural beauty was something unparalleled to us. All of our research we did online told us that these island ranges looked a lot like Hawaii. In some instances they were correct, in others they were not. Firstly, it was much colder than Hawaii. However, you will see some volcanic activity, some really cool rainforests, some amazing hikes that looked more like Scotland to me, that we'll get into at around 5 minutes of this video.
There's our little car coming around this way. Our little Portuguese house. It's quite beautiful. This is how you get in. Sorry, my sweater's on the bushes there, just drying out from the rain. Pretty beautiful inside too. I'll show you around. We are just kind of unpacking.
We rented this beautiful little house for $150 Canadian a night, and it served us extremely well while we were there. We were mostly going around exploring the island, so we didn't need a large space. One of the things that did feel like Hawaii is Faial has these large tropical storms, so you really have to be prepared and bring a rain jacket when you're going to explore. This is us exploring our first beach of the island. We got poured on. It was a little bit of a shocker to us, as you'll see in the next scene. Little did we know this trip would be filled with many more beaches like this, many more beautiful rainforests, and this one was actually not the best view in the world compared to the others.
Now, definitely is pouring out today.
We're soaked.
I don't know how waterproof these jackets are. They worked. We re-waterproofed before we left, but it's starting to seep through.
Yeah.
This is back where we were over here.
Just did a dog shake.
Dog shake. Just going over this really old stone bridge here. So here we are at Castelo de Nau. It is a point on the island that kind of, it's like a peninsula. Very different geography.
Speaking about geography, each point on this island looks completely different from the last, so driving across it every half an hour, the topography changes. As we continued down, we ended up getting to an area called Capelinhos Volcano, and we didn't know it at the time, but actually Faial is home to a volcano which erupted actually just before 1960. We had figured it out at this point due to the rocks on the beach. There were definitely volcanic rocks, very heavy, and they were everywhere. There's no trees around this side of the island. However, there is an amazing lighthouse, which is partially destroyed, unfortunately, that we will be walking to in a moment. Here we are at the lighthouse. We actually waited for some tour buses to get out of the way before going in. There's not a ton to do up here. There's some beautiful views. There is a museum. We did go into the museum later, and there's the observatory, but that was closed at the time that we were there. So we did wander around back and just look around a little bit. Got the structure on film here as well. And this is what the museum was like inside. As we continue around Portugal, there was tons of these picturesque churches and winding roads. So we'll take a moment just to enjoy that beauty now. This was the drive up as we went back to the Caldeira. Caldeira where we started the video. We're in for a wild ride. You can't tell just yet, but a storm was incoming and we had no idea.
Beautiful fog, cats up there. We're hiking around the rim today. The rain let up for a little bit. So we're up at the top of the Caldeira doing a hike. And Kat just spotted out some strawberries, so she's gonna pick and eat a little alpine strawberry. Go for it. Sweet, sour?
Sour.
And continuing on.
The Caldeira, which we're currently hiking, has a diameter of about 2 kilometers and a depth of about 400 meters, which is 1,300-ish feet.
Probably between a third and halfway now. Definitely worth at least making this far. Your views get infinitely better. The trail gets a bit more technical, but both Kat and I are pretty amazed with how empty it is. We have the hoods on just for like the rain and fog. We went on a day where it was supposed to be a bad day for this, but here's all the clouds coming in now. You can see them kind of moving down. And because of that, we get this really magical cascading fog effect into the valley. And honestly, it's pretty worth it to have the trails completely to yourselves. We haven't seen another person yet. It's a 2.5, 3 hour hike maybe, depending on how much you stop and look off. So the storm actually blew in now. We just like kind of pretty much lost visibility for a second there. It should come kind of back now, but the drizzle is starting and still totally worth it.
Oh yeah.
Also, the hike is not like terribly challenging just yet. What do we think, Kat? Like a 4, 5?
I'm pretty easy, pretty straightforward.
Probably take it like slower than what we're doing it too. We're trying to race around before the...
running shoes, so
Yeah, exactly. I'm wearing jeans. I mean, that wasn't the best idea, but honestly, they're warm. They're relatively dry, so it's not an issue.
Also, we didn't plan on doing any hikes like this, so that's all we had brought.
I don't know if you can see it. The clouds is coming over top of us now. Winds have picked up. And honestly, it's fantastic. We're doing great. We saw the ocean to our right. It's covered by fog again. But we can see the Caldeira one more time here from the other angle. Now we're definitely at halfway or past for sure. Okay, so we're walking around this cliff top here, or the Caldeira, which is like the top of the volcano. And we're looking at these little dwarf trees on the right, and I'll show you kind of what they look like here.
yeah.
All right, so they look kind of like that. And then as we get to different areas, we started to realize that we're actually at the top of another cliff on the right-hand side here.
Yeah, that's...
So we're looking at literally the top of, like, you can't really tell probably from the video, but it's got to be a 30-foot tree.
Yeah, there has to be.
So if you fall, there's an issue. That one tree there is suspended on some others. But the only reason we can see it is because it opened up for a second. And the top of the next cliff over there, or next cliff, next summit, peak, I guess walk around, we'll see the ocean on the right. You can kind of see it. It's a little bit lighter over in that direction. Last rush of clouds. Let's move ahead of Kat so we can get a good video here. And then obviously to that side is the ocean. Proper storm has rolled in. I don't know if you can see the rain. We're soaked through and through. Rain jacket's officially going through. Just your jacket now. Jeans and the running shoes. With this storm, is not the best combo in the world, as you can see. We saw some Danish tourists on the way by, and definitely thought they were halfway, but in reality, I think we've gone 3/4 now. Now it's like properly hailing and pouring. Cat's just like properly wet, so plans for dinner tonight are gonna be to head back to our little cottage. We're gonna walk nice and safe along here, get out, and then that's it. We'll see you guys in the car. Properly pouring. Okay, the pathway has officially turned to a creek. We're going up the highest summit right now. Almost there. I'd give it another 20 minutes.
So we have less than a quarter left for sure. And we've just embraced the waterfall life.
We're like 3 hours in, maybe 2.5.
But it's actually so beautiful.
We're soaked, so it doesn't matter anymore about the water.
Oh, definitely.
So this is the waterfall behind us here that we saw from across. Whew. Still just as beautiful as before, but definitely wet, definitely cold.
Yeah.
Start to lose feeling in our fingers. It's got to be only like maybe, I think 15 degrees up here, and we're like literally soaked through.
Definitely.
So back to the parking lot.
And then we got rewarded with our last little view. John had a little bit of a slip.
Covered in mud.
Covered in mud, but look at this. The clouds have cleared and we have this beautiful, more than 180 degree view. And then we see our little parking spot. Yay! We made it.
We'll show you some more clips of our travels next time, and in Horta, thanks for tagging along, and see you on the next one.